So how serious does Uriel take becoming a shamanic druid? Well, let me tell you all about it. He is a light in the darkness. I just had to take a moment to shout out someone truly special. If you're looking for a soul who has walked through the fire and came out glowing, you need to know Uriel Morningstar. It's not often you meet someone who has turned their deepest struggles, of a horrific past, into a gift for others. Uriel grew up with powerful spiritual abilities that were honestly terrifying to him at first, leading to years, and many decades of his life, living with confusion and fear. But instead of turning away, Uriel did the hard work to understand and embrace these gifts. That kind of resilience. That's spiritual strength in its purest form. He is a true polymath of the spirit. Uriel isn't just talented musically, writing complete orchestrated symphonic rock songs, with no music training, with 171 instruments, and just plays by ear. They are also a powerhouse of intuitive wisdom. From precognition and mediumship to the deep empathy of energy medicine, Uriel's toolkit is vast. Whether it's clairaudience, hearing the whispers of spirit, astral projection, traveling as a body of light, psychometry, reading the history in an object. They use it all to help others find peace and clarity. And the best part? Uriel offers this guidance, oracle, tarot, and emotional healing, completely for free. That is a heart centered on service. He is now walking the path of the shamanic druid since summer 2023. Uriel has been deepening their roots as a member of the order of bards, ovates, and druids. Far from the misconceptions people have, Uriel practices a beautiful, earth-based spirituality. It's all about honoring nature and the animals, connecting with the planets and stars, ancestral wisdom and the pulse of the universe. Uriel Morningstar is a reminder that we don't have to be afraid of what makes us different. He is a bridge between worlds and a dedicated student of the ancient ways. When you see Uriel, thank him for being a beacon of light, and for his courage to now live his truth, after a horrific past of physical and emotional traumas. His transformation is very inspiring, and a motivation for others, to overcome their own battles, coming out victorious. Uriel Morningstar is starting a new chapter in his life, Uriel's journey as a shamanic druid priest. You might soon see Uriel wearing the familiar silhouette of a clergy shirt and white collar. While we often associate this look with one specific tradition, the path of a shamanic druid priest is a beautiful bridge between the ancient past and the present day. As Uriel moves forward with the order of bards, ovates, and druids, here is a look at what this calling truly means. Same heart, different roots. At first glance, a druid priest and a Christian priest share a common soul. Both are dedicated to service, spiritual counsel, and ritual. The similarities: both act as a bridge between the divine and the community. They hold space for life's big moments, births, weddings, and passings, and offer a listening ear to those seeking guidance. The differences: while a Christian priest serves through the lens of scripture and a specific ecclesiastical history, a shamanic druid priest like Uriel Morningstar finds their scripture in the book of nature. Their cathedral is the forest, and their theology is rooted in the cycles of the earth and the deep wisdom of the ancestors. The power of the old ways. By joining the order of bards, ovates, and druids, Uriel is stepping into a lineage that honors three distinct roles. The bard, the keeper of song, story, and creativity. The ovate, the healer and seer who understands the mysteries of nature and time. The druid, the philosopher and ritualist who brings it all together in service to the world. Being a priest of the old ways isn't about living in the past, it's about bringing ancient harmony into a modern chaotic world. It's a commitment to the Awen, the flowing spirit of inspiration, and to the protection of the earth. So why the collar? The clergy shirt is a symbol of availability. For Uriel Morningstar, wearing the collar is a public vow to be on call for the spirit, and for his community. It signifies that he is a person of sacred duty, ready to offer a blessing, a prayer, or a moment of shamanic healing to anyone in need, regardless of their path. To be a druid is to walk the path of the sun, to listen to the whisper of the trees, and to serve the life force that connects us all. So, Uriel is stepping into this role with integrity, heart, and a deep love for the sacred earth. Uriel Morningstar is weaving the sacred into his everyday life. Who says a modern druid has to stick to white robes? Uriel Morningstar has been looking for ways to bridge the gap between his ritual practice and his daily walks in the woods. He thinks he's found the perfect balance with these pants. For a member of the Order of Bards, Ovates and Druids, clothing isn't just covering, it's an expression of our connection to the world. Here are why these pants speak to Uriel's druid soul. The symbolism of the knot. The intricate silver embroidery running down the legs is more than just decoration. To Uriel, this Celtic interlace represents the web of life. Notice how the lines have no beginning and no end? It's a constant reminder of the eternal cycle of nature, life, death, and rebirth, and how we are inextricably connected to the trees, the animals, and the stones beneath our feet. The three realms. If you look closely at the knees, you'll see the Trinity knot. To a druid, the number 3 is sacred. For Uriel, wearing this symbol on his knees, the part of him that bends to the earth, honors the three realms of land, sea, and sky. It grounds him with every step he takes. Walking the path, he wears these because they are rugged enough for a hike through the brambles, but carry the spirit of the grove. They remind him that his spirituality isn't just for the circle, it's for the grocery store, the commute, and the trail. They represent the urban druid, respecting the ancestors while living fully in the now. It will help Uriel Morningstar walk his path with intention. Uriel's ritual gear tells a story. When Uriel steps into the sacred circle, he doesn't just wear a robe, he dons a mantle of history and magic. Uriel will one day have a wrap-around stole that he will eventually have embroidered with sacred symbols. It's a piece of sacred vestment that wraps around his waist, hanging over his privates, down towards his knees. It binds him to his service. In the Druid tradition of the Order of Bards, Ovates and Druids, the journey is one of spiraling inward and outward, and Uriel wanted his stole to reflect every step of that path. He chose the black wraparound style not just for its solemn beauty, but to represent the fertile soil, the dark earth from which all light and inspiration eventually springs. But it's the embroidery that he is going to add to it that truly speaks. Here is what Uriel carries on his wraparound stole, and why. Uriel Morningstar, a dedicated member of the Order of Bards, Ovates and Druids, proudly wears a stole embroidered with this unique symbol. The central red triangle and white cross, encircled by the blue band of the zodiac, represent a powerful fusion of Druid and esoteric traditions. In the Druid world, the triangle often symbolizes the balance of the three realms, land, sea, sky, or the three grades of the Order, Bard, Ovate, and Druid. The cross signifies the four directions in the physical world, while the zodiac connects everything to the cosmic cycles and universal energies. For Uriel, wearing this stole is a profound personal statement. It serves as a constant reminder of his journey, his connection to the natural and spiritual worlds, and his commitment to living in harmony with all of existence. The symbol embodies his path of learning, healing, and wisdom, making it a deeply meaningful and integral part of his druidic identity. The symbol image is, in fact, the official emblem of the ancient Order of Druids. To understand why Uriel, an Order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids member, might wear it, it helps to understand that this symbol represents the roots of modern Druidry. The ancient Order of Druids is the oldest of the modern revival orders, and almost all other current Druid orders, including the Order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids, can trace their lineage or inspiration back to it in some way. The ancient order started back on November 28, 1781. The Druids before that were primarily targeted and massacred by the Romans back in 60 to 61 AD. Here is the breakdown of how this symbol is tied to the ancient Order of Druids and its specific meaning. 1. It is the seal of the Mother Order. The ancient Order of Druids was founded in 1781, at the King's Arms Tavern in London by a man named Henry Hurrell. It was the first group to revive the title of Druid for a fraternal society. Unlike the order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids, which is more spiritual and psychological, and founded in 1964, the ancient order of Druids was originally a fraternal society, somewhat similar to the Freemasons, focused on benevolence, social gathering, and brotherhood. The connection: this symbol identifies the wearer as belonging to, and honoring, that original 1781 lineage. 2. The symbolism of the emblem. This specific design is distinct to the ancient order of Druids. The order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids uses the Awen symbol and the oak and wheat. In the context of the ancient order of Druids, the elements represent the white T, the Tau cross. This is the central feature. In the ancient order of Druids symbolism, this is often called the Tau cross. It symbolizes the throne of the deity or the foundation of truth. It is a symbol of eternal life and physical manifestation. In some early revival lore, it was also associated with the hammer used to call the lodge to order. The red triangle, this represents fire and light. In Druidic revival philosophy, light is synonymous with knowledge and truth, opposed to the darkness of ignorance. The triangle pointing upward also represents the aspiration of the soul toward the divine. The rays of light, you can see thin lines emanating from the cross and triangle. These represent the diffusion of knowledge and benevolence to all parts of the world. The blue zodiac ring, the outer band, features the 12 astrological signs. This ties the order to the macrocosm, the universe. It signifies that the Druid works in harmony with the cycles of time, the seasons, and the movements of the heavens. 3. Why Uriel, an Obad member, would wear it. Since Uriel is a member of the order of Bards, Ovates and Druids, wearing the ancient order of Druids seal, is a very specific choice that suggests a few possibilities about his character. Honoring the ancestors, the order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids was founded by Ross Nichols, who was originally a member of the ancient Druid order, a group that split from the ancient order of Druids. By wearing this, Uriel is acknowledging the 1781 origins of his path, honoring the grandfathers of the tradition. Dual membership: it is possible to be a member of both. The ancient order of Druids still exists today, mostly in the UK, as a charitable fraternal society. Uriel appreciates the fraternal and social aspect of the ancient order of Druids, while pursuing the spiritual and mystical training of the order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids. A symbol of foundations: for Uriel, the stole also represents that his spiritual flights of fancy, the order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids, are grounded in the solid history and masonry of the traditional, ancient order of Druids. In short, this symbol marks the historical foundation of modern Druidry. For Uriel, it is a badge of history, linking his modern spiritual practice to the very first revival Druids of the 18th century. Uriel is a walker between the worlds. If you saw Uriel standing at the edge of the forest, the first thing you might notice, aside from the quiet calm in his eyes, is the black stole wrapped securely around his waist, the heavy fabric hanging downward like a root grounding him to the earth. Also embroidered clearly against that dark cloth is a vibrant, circular emblem, the Awen. For Uriel, a Druid within the order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids, this isn't just a patch. It is a map of his soul and a declaration of his path. The meaning of the Awen. The centerpiece of this symbol features 3 distinct rays of light descending from 3 points. In the Druidic tradition, this is the Awen, a Welsh word meaning inspiration or flowing spirit. The 3 rays. These represent the balance of opposites necessary for existence, male and female energy with the balance in the center, or the 3 realms of earth, sea, and sky. For Uriel, they most deeply represent the 3 grades of his order: the Bard, the creative storyteller, the Ovate, the healer and seer, and the Druid, the teacher and philosopher. The 3 drops. The dots at the top represent the 3 drops of Awen from the cauldron of the goddess Ceridwen, the source of all wisdom and inspiration. The Celtic knotwork encircling the rays is a border of endless, golden knotwork. This represents the interconnectedness of life. To a druid like Uriel, nothing exists in isolation. The trees, the stones, the stars, and the humans are all woven into the same eternal tapestry. The knot has no beginning and no end, symbolizing the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Why the black stole? Uriel wears this symbol on a black stole at his waist for a specific reason. In magical practice, the waist is the center of the body, the seat of personal power and will. The color black represents the rich, fertile soil of the earth and the mysterious void from which all creation springs. By wrapping the awen around his center, Uriel is conceptually drawing that divine inspiration, the rays, down into his physical being, grounding the cosmic energy into the here and now. When he walks, the stole moves with him, a reminder that he is a vessel for the awen, constantly learning, constantly creating, and forever connected to the wild world around him. Uriel Morningstar is a weaver of the elements. He wears the symbol of the High Cross. As mentioned before, Uriel Morningstar is a practitioner within the order of bards, ovates, and druids. If you see Uriel at a gathering, your eye is immediately drawn to the heavy, charcoal black stole wrapped firmly around his waist, the ends hanging with purpose down the front of his robes. Against the darkness of the fabric, another symbol stands out in stark, embroidered relief, the Celtic High Cross. But why does a druid wear a cross? To the uninitiated, this might seem like a contradiction. However, for Uriel and many within the order, this ancient symbol holds a cosmology far older than modern Christianity and other dogma. In fact, it goes back about 10,000 years to Stone Age cave carvings, then Neolithic sun crosses, then Moncton Farley sun disk, and the Nordic amber sun cross. Christian crosses were not around until around 650 AD, which is 650 years after the start of Christianity. The meaning of the symbol in Druidry. The four arms, the elements for a druid, the four arms of the cross do not represent suffering, but structure. They signify the four cardinal directions, north, south, east, west, and the four elements that make up our physical reality. Earth, stability. Air, intellect. Fire, passion and transformation. Water, emotion and flow. Uriel wears this at his waist, his center of gravity, to symbolize that he stands balanced at the meeting point of these elemental forces. The circle, the nimbus surrounding the intersection, is the halo or the circle. In the order of bards, ovates, and druid teachings, we are deeply attuned to the wheel of the year. This circle represents the sun, the life-giver, the moon, and the eternal cycle of the seasons. It reminds the wearer that time is not linear, but cyclical, birth, death, and rebirth. The knotwork, the web of life. Look closely at the embroidery. There is no beginning and no end. These intricate Celtic knots represent the interconnectedness of all things. In the study of the ovate grade, one learns that nothing exists in isolation. A tree affects the soil affects the water affects the human. Uriel's stole serves as a constant reminder that every action he takes pulls on the threads of the entire web of life. Why the black stole? While obad grades are often associated with blue, bard, green, ovate, and white, druid, Uriel has chosen a black background for this ritual tool. In our tradition, black is not a color of evil, but of the fertile earth and the void of potential, the dark soil from which the seed of light, Uriel's namesake, must spring. When Uriel fastens this stole, he is not just getting dressed. He is centering himself in the landscape, honoring the ancestors represented by the knotwork, and balancing the elements within his own spirit. He is a walker between the worlds, grounded by the cross, and encircled by the eternal sun. The mark of the storyteller, the path Uriel Morningstar has chosen. In the woven tapestry of modern druidry, symbols are not just decorations, they are maps of the soul. Today, we honor the path of Uriel Morningstar, a shamanic druid priest of the order of bards, ovates, and druids. If you look closely at the black stole wrapped around his waist, amidst a constellation of other sacred sigils, you will find this striking geometric shape embroidered in deep blue, resting prominently at the center of his being. What is this symbol? This represents the bardic grade within the order of bards, ovates, and druids. It is the union of two fundamental geometries, the square, representing the material world, the four elements, earth, air, fire, water, and the four directions, east, south, west, and north. It is stability, foundation, and truth. The circle, representing the spirit, the infinite, the cycle of the seasons, and the flowing nature of the divine. Why does Uriel wear it with his head held high? By interlacing the square and the circle, this symbol signifies the bard's sacred duty, to bridge the world of spirit and the world of matter through sound, story, and memory. Wearing this symbol low on his stole, hanging near the root and sacral centers, is a powerful statement. It signifies that Uriel's creativity, his awen, divine inspiration, and his grounding are the foundation of his priesthood. It reminds him, and all who see him, that before one can be a walker between worlds, an ovate, or a teacher of wisdom, a druid, one must first master the art of listening to the earth and singing its song. Uriel wears it with pride because it marks him as a keeper of tradition, a man who has sworn to speak the blunt truth, and a vessel for the ancient stories that heal the soul. Uriel Morningstar walks between the worlds, he wears a green star and he is the light bringer. Many of you may ask about the symbols embroidered on the black stole he wears during ceremony. It is not just fabric, it is a map of the soul. Today, I want to share the story of this one, the green star within the circle. To the uninitiated, untrained eye, it may just look like a shape. But to Uriel Morningstar, as a shamanic druid and priest within the order of bards, ovates, and druids, this is the heartbeat of his work. The ovate's path. This is the symbol of the ovate. In his tradition, the ovate is the seer, the healer, and the walker between worlds. While the bard sings the world into being, and the druid teaches the law of nature, the ovate journeys into the mysteries of time, death, and rebirth. The star is green to represent the verdant life force of the earth, the viriditas. It reminds Uriel that his cathedral is the forest, and his scriptures are the leaves of the oak and the yew. Why does he call himself the light bringer? You often hear him refer to himself as a light bringer, a nod to his namesake, Uriel. This symbol explains how he carries that light. Being a light bringer isn't about ignoring the dark. The ovate understands that a seed must be buried in the cold, dark earth before it can rise toward the sun. To bring the light, one must be willing to walk into the shadows, into the grief, the trauma, and the unknowns of the spirit world, and strike a match. When Uriel Morningstar wears this stole, with the green star resting against him, he is reminded of his sacred duty, to descend into the roots of suffering to find the medicine. To act as a hollow bone, letting the light of spirit flow through him to heal others. To illuminate the hidden wisdom of nature that the modern world has forgotten. He carries this green light not for himself, but to show that even in the deepest winter of the soul, spring is always waiting to return. Outside of the specific druidic context, this is a pentacle, a pentagram enclosed within a circle. It is one of the most widely recognized symbols in paganism. The 5 points, the star represents the balance of the universe. The points generally correspond to spirit, Akasha, the top point, representing the divine or the non-physical ruling over the physical. Earth, stability, endurance, and physical body. Air, intellect, communication, and thought. Fire, passion, will, and energy. Water, emotions, intuition, and healing. The circle surrounding the star represents unity, wholeness, the cycle of life, and protection. It binds the elements together. Upright orientation, because the single point is facing upward, it typically symbolizes the triumph of the spirit over matter, a symbol of enlightenment and positive functioning. How do you decode this Celtic knot? Why is Uriel wearing it? If you see Uriel Morningstar wearing that long black stole embroidered with golden symbols, you might wonder, what is that knot, and what does it actually mean? To the untrained eye, it looks like a beautiful Celtic design. But in the world of modern Druidry, this symbol, the triquetra, tells a story of a spiritual journey. Here is the breakdown for the uninitiated. Number 1. The power of 3 at its heart. Celtic spirituality is built on the number 3. You see 3 points in the knot, interwoven in a single, unbroken line. This represents eternity. The universe has no true beginning and no end, only constant flow. Number 2. Land, sea, and sky. For pagans and druids, we don't just look at heaven and earth. We honor the 3 realms. The land, our foundation and ancestors. The sea, our emotions and the spirit world. The sky, our inspiration and the divine. The knot ties them all together, reminding us that nature is one interconnected system. Number 3. The bard, the ovate, and the druid. For a member of the order of bards, ovates and druids, like Uriel, this symbol is deeply personal. It represents the 3 stages of learning and mastery in the order. The bard, the storyteller and artist who awakens creativity. The ovate, the healer and seer who learns the mysteries of nature and trees. The druid, the philosopher and teacher who walks the path of service. Why wear it on a stole? Uriel wears this embroidered on a black stole, a sash worn at the waist, not as a costume, but as a badge of office. The stole hangs from his center, the seat of his will, grounding him. The black fabric represents the deep earth and mystery, while the golden knot serves as a constant reminder to keep his life in balance, between creativity, healing, and wisdom. It is a visible vow to respect the land and keep the old knowledge alive in the modern world. Uriel Morningstar, being born in the sign of Aries, is the fire of the dawn. Therefore, he will wear crimson robes. Why would Uriel Morningstar, a dedicated initiate of the order of bards, ovates, and druids, step away from the traditional robes of blue, green, or white? Because sometimes, the ritual demands fire. In the Druid tradition, we honor the cycles of the earth. While the bard wears blue for truth, the ovate wears green for nature, and the druid wears white for spirituality, Uriel's crimson coat represents a specific, potent working, the invocation of the solar fire. Here is the deep meaning woven into this garment. Number 1. The color of vitality, the red ray. Red is the color of the life force, the blood that runs through our veins, and the fiery energy of the summer solstice. For a man named Morningstar, this robe honors the rising sun. It is worn for action, protection, and the channeling of the Awen, divine inspiration, in its most raw, burning form. Number 2. The Cran Bethad, the tree of life. Look closely at the hem. The large, circular embroidery depicts the Cran Bethad, or Celtic tree of life. The roots dig deep into the lower world, connecting Uriel to the ancestors and the wisdom of the past. The branches reach into the upper world, touching the realm of the stars and the future. The trunk anchors him in this world, reminding him that a druid must be a bridge between the realms. Number 3. The endless knot, the great web. The gold stitching tracing the lapels is not mere decoration. It is the endless knot. It has no beginning and no end. It reminds the wearer of the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. It symbolizes the interconnectedness of all things, that to harm nature is to harm oneself, and to heal the land is to heal the soul. Number 4. The hood of the hermit. Even in such a bold coat, the hood serves a sacred purpose. When pulled up, it allows Uriel to retreat into his inner grove. It creates a space of silence amidst the noise, allowing the druid to listen to the whispers of the spirits and the wind, even in a crowded room. To wear this is to wear the weight of the forest and the heat of the sun. It is armor for the spirit. This garment is meant to let the fire in the head of Uriel be matched by the fire in his heart. Uriel Morningstar walks the sacred path. These are more than just a pair of boots. To the casual observer, these are simply a pair of rugged, 5-strap boots. But for Uriel Morningstar, a member of the order of bards, ovates, and druids, they are far more than footwear. They are a physical anchor to a spiritual calling, a daily ritual in leather and buckle. In the life of a modern druid, magic isn't reserved only for the stone circle or the forest clearing, it is lived in every step. For Uriel, these boots serve as a bridge between the mundane world and the sacred geometry of the elements. The 5 straps. A binding of the elements. Each of the 5 straps represents a fundamental force of nature. As Uriel fastens them, it is a conscious act of meditation, binding the self to the harmony of the universe. Earth. The lowest strap, grounding every footfall to the soil and the ancestors beneath. Water. Representing the flow of emotion, intuition, and the ever-changing tides of life. Fire. Fueling the awe, the divine inspiration, and the creative spark of the bard. Air. Keeping the mind clear, the intellect sharp, and the breath connected to the sky. Spirit. The final buckle. The unifying force that weaves the other 4 together into a balanced whole. The intentional walk. For a real-life druid, the clothing we wear can be a form of armor or a set of tools. By wearing the representation of the elements, Uriel isn't just walking on the land, they are walking with it. It is a reminder that we are never separate from the nature we seek to protect and honor. When you walk with this level of intention, the world becomes your temple, and every journey becomes a pilgrimage. Uriel Morningstar is the weaver of realms. Here is a better understanding of the druid's sigils, he will wear on a long necklace. To many, these are merely patterns of real gold jewelry, with black overlay. But to a student of the mysteries, they are a shorthand for the laws of the universe. As a druid within the order of bards, ovates, and druids, Uriel's work is to walk between worlds, and these 5 talismans serve as his compass, his shield, and his library. Here is the deeper meaning behind the 5 symbols he will carry. Number 1. The pentagram of the Tetragrammaton. This is the ultimate symbol of divine order. The 5-pointed star represents the 4 elements, earth, air, fire, and water, crowned by spirit. Surrounding it is the Tetragrammaton, the 4-letter name of the divine. For a druid, this signifies the balance of the natural forces under the guidance of the soul. It is a symbol of protection that ensures no discordant energy enters his sacred space. Number 2. The Wheel of the Year and the Trinity. This disc tracks the heartbeat of the earth. It features the 8 Sabbats, from the rebirth of the sun at Yule to the thinning of the veil at Samhain. At its heart lies the Triquetra, representing the triple goddess and the 3 grades of the Druidic order, the Bard, the Ovate, and the Druid. It reminds Uriel that he is always exactly where he needs to be in the great cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Number 3. The Seal of Solomon, the Hexagram. Enclosed by the names of power, Alpha, Omega, Theos, this talisman represents the union of opposites. The upward triangle, fire, and the downward triangle, water, interlock to create perfect harmony. In Uriel's practice, this represents the marriage of the earthly and the divine, the moment where the human spirit meets the infinite. Number 4. The Metatron's Cube and the Star of David. A complex geometric powerhouse, this symbol contains every shape that exists in the universe, the Platonic solids. It represents the sacred geometry that acts as the blueprint for all creation, from the structure of a crystal to the spiral of a galaxy. It is a tool for deep meditation, helping Uriel visualize the underlying structure of the great web that connects all living things. Number 5. The Eye of Providence, as above, so below. Perhaps the most profound, this talisman depicts the eye of spirit within the triangle of manifestation, framed by the phases of the moon. The inscription is the foundational law of alchemy, as above, so below. As the universe, so the soul. It is a reminder that the macrocosm of the stars is reflected in the microcosm of Uriel's own heart. To know the self is to know the gods. Why the gold and the black? In the Druid tradition, the black represents the fertile, mysterious darkness of the womb and the soil where all life begins. The gold represents the Awen, the divine spark of inspiration and the light of the sun. Together, they represent the totality of existence. Uriel Morningstar wears these not as ornaments, but as a commitment to remain awake in a world that often sleeps. Very few ever truly wake up to reality. The Druid's Fire. Uriel's sacred 7 stones, that he will wear on a short necklace, above the previous long necklace you just saw, to amplify and protect him, being that he is the fire of Aries, the fire of the sun. Number 1. Tiger's Eye, the stone of discernment. For a Druid, Tiger's Eye acts as a bridge between the heavens and the earth. It combines the energy of the sun with the grounding of the terrestrial. The benefit, it grants the watcher's sight. For an Aries, who might sometimes rush into action, Tiger's Eye provides the patience to observe before leaping. It protects Uriel's personal power from being drained by others. Number 2. Garnet, the stone of primordial fire. Garnet is deeply connected to the root chakra and the Kundalini energy. In Druidry, it represents the heat of the hearth and the blood of the land. The benefit, it offers unwavering devotion. Garnet keeps Uriel's inner fire burning even during the dark half of the year. It's a stone of commitment to his path, ensuring his physical vitality matches his spiritual ambitions. Number 3. Carnelian, the singer's stone. Carnelian is the stone of the bard. Its vibrant orange hue resonates with creativity and the courage of the voice. The benefit, it dispels apathy and fear of public speaking. For Uriel, this stone ensures his awe and flows freely, allowing him to communicate his druidic wisdom with confidence and infectious enthusiasm. Number 4. Fire Opal, the stone of transformation. Opal is unique because it contains water within its structure, but fire opal specifically glows with the sparks of the spirit. The benefit, it fosters emotional alchemy. It helps an Aries Druid navigate intense feelings without being consumed by them. It's a stone of magic making, amplifying Uriel's intentions during ritual work. Number 5. Fire Agate, the spiritual shield. Fire agate is known as one of the most protective stones in the mineral kingdom. It creates a literal ring of fire around the wearer's aura. The benefit, it sends ill will back to its source. For someone active in a spiritual order, fire agate acts as a barrier against psychic vampires or negative energies, allowing Uriel to walk through any environment while remaining spiritually untouchable. Number 6. Red Jasper, the stone of endurance. Often called the stone of justice, red jasper is a slow-vibrating, deeply grounding stone. It is the solid earth beneath the Aries flame. The benefit, it provides structural stamina. While fire burns bright and fast, red jasper ensures Uriel doesn't burn out. It's the stone of the spiritual warrior, helping him stay focused and calm during times of crisis. Number 7. Pyrite, the stone of the sun. Commonly known as fool's gold, but to a Druid, it is a stone of the sun's hidden intellect. Its cubic structure represents sacred geometry and order. The benefit, it brings mental clarity and abundance. Pyrite helps Uriel manifest his visions into the physical world. It taps into the Aries trait of leadership, giving him the royal energy needed to guide others in his grove or community. Why wear all 7? By combining these, Uriel isn't just carrying rocks, he is wearing a harmonic circuit. Each stone balances a different aspect of his fire, some ground it, some brighten it, and some protect it, ensuring he remains a balanced conduit for the earth's magic. Uriel Morningstar is the alchemist of Cochrane, with elemental hands. Uriel, as said before, is a dedicated druid of the order of bards, ovates, and druids. If you spot him walking an ancient path of Cochrane, take a closer look at his hands. They tell a story of balance, power, and deep connection to the earth. In his left hand, he carries a wand crafted from one of Cochrane's oldest trees, a conduit for ritual, and a bridge to the local land's native and nature spirits. But on his right hand of power, he wears the weight of the universe, the 4 elements. These aren't just jewelry. For a shamanic healer like Uriel, these rings serve him as anchors, allowing Uriel to channel specific energies needed for transformation and healing. This is why they are made of older metals, rather than newer jewelry store ones. They have to be bought from private metal workers directly. Here is the deep meaning behind the 4 rings of power he wields, from the lightest breath to the deepest root. Number 1. The Ring of Air, the breath of life. Aligned with the east and the heart chakra, first is the element of the mind and the wind. Uriel wears this to master communication, intellect, and clarity. In healing, air is the power to clear the fog to see the truth behind a struggle. It represents new beginnings, spring, and the mental agility required to navigate complex spiritual landscapes. Its power. It grants Uriel the openness to listen to the spirits and the wisdom to speak truth. Number 2. The Ring of Fire, the spark of creation. Aligned with the south and the solar plexus chakra, next burns the fire. This ring channels passion, transformation, and willpower. Fire is the great purifier. When Uriel performs a healing, this energy is what burns away the stagnation and provides the spark to reignite a weary soul. It is the energy of summer and noon, bright, undeniable, and protective. Its power. It gives him the courage to face darkness and the projective energy to manifest change instantly. Number 3. The Ring of Water, the flow of healing. Aligned with the west and the sacral chakra, the 3rd ring embodies the fluid nature of water. This is the domain of emotion, intuition, and the subconscious. Just as the Bao River shapes the land in Cochrane, this ring helps Uriel navigate the deep waters of the human psyche. It is the element of autumn and twilight, mysterious and cleansing. Its power. It grants him deep empathy and psychic fluidity, allowing him to wash away emotional trauma and bring a soothing, cooling balance to the heat of conflict. Number 4. The Ring of Earth, the foundation. Aligned with the north and the root chakra, finally, the anchor. The earth ring, bearing the symbol of the tree, represents structure, roundedness, and the physical body. No healer can work without a solid foundation. This ring connects Uriel directly to the ancestors and the physical soil of Alberta. It is the stillness of winter and the midnight hour. Its power. It provides the stability to hold space for others. It ensures that no matter how high the ritual flies, he remains rooted, safe, and secure in the physical realm. The balance, wearing these on his right hand, Uriel projects these energies outward to heal, protect, and guide. With the ancient wood of Cochrane in his left hand and the elemental mastery on his right, he walks between the worlds, bringing the old magic into the modern day. Uriel has the hand of the healer. He weaves magic, lineage, and love. Uriel Morningstar is a shamanic druid healer within the order of bards, ovates, and druids. To the uninitiated, untrained eye, these are just rings. But in the realms of spirit where Uriel walks, they are tools, talismans, and batteries for the soul. Look closely at his left hand. This is his wand hand, the hand that directs energy, the hand that holds the sacred wand he crafted himself from the wood of one of the oldest, wisest trees here in Cochrane. When he channels Awen, divine inspiration, it flows through these 4 bands of power. Why these specific rings? And why together? Let's journey through the metal and the magic. Number 1. The 72 Names of God. First, we see the vibration of the divine. Though Kabbalistic in origin, for a druid like Uriel who walks many paths, this represents the universal source. It is the song of creation. Wearing this reminds him that all healing comes from the One, regardless of the name we speak for that god or goddess. It attunes his wand hand to the highest frequency of light, before he even begins his work. Number 2. The Anchor, Claddagh and Celtic wedding rings stacked. 2 souls, 1 path. Sitting proudly in the mix is a custom masterpiece, a Claddagh ring welded to a Celtic band. This is the heart of the hand. These were custom made, from a design of Rhiannon and Uriel's spirit, then crafted by a local goldsmith. The Claddagh represents love, loyalty, and friendship. The Celtic band below features intricate vine work, representing the green earth, and alternating diamonds and aquamarine. These are his wedding rings, binding him to his wife, Rhiannon, for almost 21 years. With Rhiannon being German and Irish and also a member of the Order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids, their union is a meeting of very ancient tribes. This ring grounds Uriel. It reminds him that while he walks in the spirit world, his heart belongs to the earth and his partner. It is the balance of as above, so below. When he is out of body in spirit, in the other world, doing his work, his wife and these rings, anchor him to the earth. Number 3. The Secret Seal of Solomon. Wisdom is the currency of the Druid. This seal is not just a symbol, it is a key. In the shamanic tradition, it represents the ability to understand the hidden language of nature and the elements. It grants Uriel the divine authority to navigate the unseen realms, ensuring that his workings are guided by ancient, esoteric knowledge. Number 4. The Archangel Michael Protector Seal. A healer must also be a warrior. This ring invokes the energy of Michael, the great protector. Dealing with deep energy work requires strong boundaries. This seal acts as a shield, ensuring that as Uriel uses his wand to pull out sickness or shadow, he remains untouched and guarded by the highest angelic forces. Walking between worlds. Uriel is a man of the crossroads. Walking the thin line between good and evil. He does not take sides. He stays neutral at all times. He stays in the balance of all things. With his bloodlines stretching from European royalty, and US presidents, to famous native chiefs, and being 1/8 native himself, from a line of native seers, he literally embodies the bridge between indigenous wisdom, and Western spiritual structure. He wears these rings on the left hand because in his lineage, the left is the side of intuition and magic. By placing them on the hand that wields his handmade wand, from a very old and wise tree in Cochrane, he creates a circuit. The ancient ancestry of his blood, the protective fire of Archangel Michael, the wisdom of Solomon, and the grounding love of Rhiannon all merge into a single focused beam of healing intent. That kind of magic is powerful. When Uriel Morningstar raises his hand, he does not stand alone. He stands with his gods, goddesses, native ancestors, early Celtic tribes, his sacred order, the angels, and his love. When people look at the rings on Uriel's wand hand, they sometimes ask, "You are a druid, why the hell do you wear the names of God and the seal of Archangel Michael? How dare you?" they will say in a rage. It is a profound question. To understand the answer, we must look at history through the eyes of a mystic. The universal current. For Uriel, the spiritual world is not divided by human dogma. In the high occult and shamanic traditions, beings like the Archangel Michael or the wisdom of Solomon are not owned by any one religion. They, if you go back in history, were there even before Christianity. Even Mary used to be a goddess to pagans. They are cosmic forces, ancient energies of protection, light, and wisdom that have existed long before modern labels. Even Christianity. The 72 Names of God ring, this isn't about religion, it's about vibration. It is the geometry of creation. The Archangel Michael seal, to a druid, Michael is the guardian of the south, the element of fire, the sun warrior. He is a force of cosmic law that aligns perfectly with the warrior-healer path. The hidden gods. History tells us a story of survival. When the Roman Empire expanded and brought Christianity to the Celtic lands, the old gods didn't die, they changed their names. Many of the beloved saints venerated today are actually ancient Celtic deities in disguise. The goddess Brigid, keeper of the sacred flame and healing wells, became Saint Brigid. The horned god of the wildwood was often merged into stories of forest saints or misunderstood as devils, yet his protection of nature remained. Uriel knows that the saints are often the old ones wearing new masks. By wearing these seals, he isn't bowing to a new dogma, he is recognizing the ancient power hiding in plain sight. The problem is, you can't make a blind man see, even if his eyes are open. You can't make a deaf man listen, even if his ears work. You can't make a fool understand, even if the truth was right in front of him. He'd rather be dictated what to do, by something as simple as a dogmatic book. These people simply cannot think for themselves. Uriel, with his spirituality, being a shamanic druid, belongs to no one. Not even the order. All druids take their own spiritual path. No two are the same. They are led and taught by their own spirit, their ancestors, the earth, and the universe. Always seeking truth, inspiration, and enlightenment. Forever becoming closer in relationship with all things seen, and not seen. All things of this world, the other world, other realms, and the life that comes next. A shamanic druid has the ability to walk in all worlds, through ritual and meditation, even while you are alive and living upon this earth, here and now. So, yes, a shamanic druid can believe in angels, gods, and goddesses, because they were there, before all modern religions of man's creation, from anywhere on this earth. They were there before all time and space itself ever existed. It was them that created all of it. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't exist. The problems of today, is people have forgotten them. They no longer respect and live in nature. We now live in a world of self, greed, and disobedience. Living in concrete jungles that destroyed all that was once sacred. The very earth that was given to us as a paradise to live upon, is now a wasteland. There is no freedom, for we are forced to submit to our leaders, or face punishment. We are taught to follow and be part of society. Otherwise you are shunned, and cast out. Religion is not love, nor is it freedom. It is fear of a god, a fear of hell, and dogmatic entrapment. Uriel encourages you all to seek your own path. Awaken your own senses. And seek your own truths. His, are his, alone. And you all, must find your own. On your own. Uriel Morningstar is beyond appearances, he has the heart of a true healer. In a world that is so quick to judge him, with what it doesn't immediately understand, it is easy to scroll past him, laugh at him, or make assumptions based on his appearance. But today, I invite you to pause, open your mind, and look deeper at the man, Uriel Morningstar. To the uninitiated, his path may look different. But Uriel is not a fictional character, he is of a sound mind, and this is not a joke. He is the real deal, a dedicated student of the order of bards, ovates, and druids, walking a sacred path to become a shamanic druid priest. Uriel is a bridge between worlds. His lineage is a powerful tapestry of history, carrying the blood of great indigenous chiefs, like Chief Pontiac, Chief Ottawa, and arguably Chief Tecumseh on his father's side, blended in with an ancient ancestry of British royalty, and Celtic people and Vikings on his mother's. He carries the wisdom of the land, and the history of nations within his DNA. There is a misconception that the druidic path is something dark, evil, of the devil, or opposed to God. For Uriel, nothing could be further from the truth. He is a man deeply connected to God, gods, goddesses, elementals, the 72 angels, the ancestors, power animals, and the natural elements of the four directions. His work is rooted in love and light. On the outside, he may seem guarded, a necessary shield in a judgmental world that has caused him so much trauma in his past, leaving him with incurable complex PTSD. But for the small 0.01% of people, who are spiritually open enough to look past the surface, you will find a shining light deep within him. He possesses genuine psychic gifts, and crystal energy, that is pure and distinct. People laugh at him, because he cannot do his gifts on demand, giving them quick gratification. It doesn't work that way. Uriel knows absolutely nothing about people, places, or things. But when his spirits, ancestors, or something else speaks up, the knowledge comes from them, and his connection to the divine connection of all things in the universe. He helps people for free, with absolutely nothing to gain, but the joy of healing others. That is the definition of selflessness. Yet people are quick to judge him, as a very bad man. Those people don't take the time, to truly know him deeply, and if they are going to be like that, it's more of a them issue from deep within themselves, than it is a problem of Uriel's. These people cannot be reasoned with, and are just not worth a moment of your time. Just simply move on, and don't engage. Instead of judging, imagine having a conversation with him. Truly listening. You might be surprised to find that his words heal parts of you that you didn't know were hurting. He offers deep, meaningful insight that can change the trajectory of your life if you are willing to receive it. In fact, since he was in his 20s, up to now, where he is turning 57 this year, which is almost 4 decades, he has helped homeless people from starvation, or freezing to death in winter, listening to their stories of who they used to be, before street life, and showing he cares. He has saved people from suicides, he has helped people with addictions, he has even at times in his life, literally given someone the shirt off his back. Not as a saying, but actually did it. He used to work in soup kitchens with prayer teams in Edmonton. He used to be part of a spiritual warfare team years ago, cleansing buildings of dark entities. He will stop and talk to a perfect stranger who is hurting, and offer them a hug and a shoulder to cry on. He has done so much for people in his lifetime. But yet, he is alone, has very little, to no friends, almost all his life for decades. He's badly judged by society, badly shunned by those who don't get it, and even hated by most in society for not conforming to the norms. Very few take the time to truly know him. Many have labeled him as abusive, an asshole, and much worse. Some businesses in his town won't even serve him when he comes in. Does he let this bother him? At first yes, but then he quickly gets over it and moves on. He knows who he is. He knows his goals, he knows his purpose. He doesn't need to waste his time with fools. Let us stop shunning the unique and the gifted. Let's forget his past when he was young and made mistakes. Let us respect the healer he is now becoming. Open your heart to Uriel Morningstar. Look for the light growing within him. Respect the journey he has chosen. Thank you for watching this video, and may the rays of inspiration, of the Awen, find you. Be blessed, and enjoy your life to the fullest.